What's up everyone, we're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now if you watched yesterday's YouTube video, we absolutely did fantastic and went perfect and got 3 out of the 3 picks correct on our last YouTube video, and we are hoping to continue that streak in today's YouTube video. Now I did want to show you the results however from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see we actually got 23 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now, a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 1 pick wrong and got 23 right, which is a 98% win rate. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 98% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 98% win rate and get 23 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon, should be linked down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $5,859 just yesterday. Another member who won $150 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description. So go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group. And I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Michael Garcia T9V who said big bucks, and shouts out to him. So if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. So getting into the first pick, we're going to be talking about none other than Arik Ogunbowale. So as we all know, Arik, great player for none other than the Dallas Wings. And this one is a fantastic one for actually 4.5 assists. And this one is for less. Now looking at Arik, we actually have seen her go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. And this definitely has been a big game, you know, or she has been in some pretty big games. Now we do see on June 7th, she actually faced off against none other than the LA Sparks. Had 4 assists there, then faced off on June 9th against Minnesota and had 6 assists in that matchup. Then June 12th faced off against Phoenix with 4 assists, then 8 assists against the Aces on June 14th, and against Golden State Valkyries had 6 assists on June 18th. So we have seen someone like Arik actually go on the under in quite a lot of games in this sense. Now, when we look at this matchup, it's definitely going to be a big matchup, but we do actually see that Arik does have herself, you know, a intense matchup against Connecticut Sun. Now, the reason why this is intense in a sense that both of these teams are in more the lower half, but they are evenly ranked, because we did see Dallas Wings rank 13th with a record of 2 wins and 11 losses. So they are a very poor team. They actually rank at the bottom of, you know, all WNBA teams. Now they do have a record of also 1-5 at home and 1-6 for away games. So it's definitely been tough there. Now they currently are on a 1-game win streak, and they are hoping to push that, you know, and make it 2. But they do face off against Connecticut Sun. Now, like I mentioned, they are somewhat evenly ranked because Connecticut Sun do come in at the 12th spot, and they also have 2 wins and 10 losses with a 16.7% win percentage. Now, they currently have a 1-5 record at home and a 1-5 record away, and they also are on a 4-game losing streak. So we definitely have seen, you know, both these teams really struggle, but this is definitely still going to be a very even matchup between both of these teams. That's why we are expecting an intense game in that sense. But looking at Connecticut Sun, especially when it comes to assists allowed, we do see that Connecticut Sun do rank 9th when it comes to assists allowed. However, the reason why we do like the under, however, for this situation here is that when it comes to Connecticut Sun, they actually do a fantastic job at restricting assists to the guard position. And for that reason, we do expect someone like Arik going on the under there. Now, Arik is definitely a big player for Dallas, and we are expecting Connecticut Sun to do a fantastic job at restricting her in the assist department. So we definitely see that playing out here. Now, our average over the last 5 is 5.6, so slightly above, but we do believe that outlier game against the Las Vegas Aces, where the Aces are a very poor defensive team. You know, obviously we were going to see Arik take advantage of it, and she definitely did that, but it's now brought this line a little bit too high, and now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. Now, looking at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have her favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So Arik Ogunbowale, 4.5 assists for less. I think it's a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about Marina Mabrey. So, as you all know, Marina Mabrey, great player for none other than the actual Connecticut Sun. And this one is a fantastic one for actually 16.5 points. And this one actually is for less. So, looking at Marina Mabrey, we've actually have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, it's definitely been an interesting one because we see on June 7th, faced off against Atlanta Dream, where she had 34 points there. Then faced off against Washington on June 9th and had 15 points. Then June 16th faced off against Chicago, where she had 22 points. Then Indiana had 6 points on June 18th. And then June 19th faced off against Phoenix and had 8 points there. So you have seen Marina Mabrey actually go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, this definitely is an interesting one because we do see in this matchup, Connecticut Sun face off against Dallas Wings, as we've mentioned. Now, looking at both of these teams, just to remind you all, Connecticut Sun do rank 12th, 2-10 record, and the Dallas Wings have a record that ranked them 13th with a 2-11 record there. So, just to get that quickly, to notice. But as we see, Marina Mabrey, this one is for points. Now, looking at Dallas Wings, we do see that Dallas Wings do rank, when it comes to points allowed, they do rank 12th. However, the reason why we do like the under for this situation here is that when we look at someone like Marina Mabrey, she is a guard. And what we have seen time and time again is that Dallas Wings actually do a fantastic job at restricting points to the guard position. So we definitely see someone like her caliber definitely going on the under here. What we have seen Dallas Wings do a pretty good job of throughout the regular season is that their defensive strategy is to really hone in and focus in on starters and especially stars and try to restrict them as much as they can. So that's why coming into this game, we are expecting, a similar sort of situation when it comes to this matchup. We are expecting Marina Mabrey to come out, in this game and have Dallas Wings really hone in, focus their defensive presence on her, and try to restrict her as much as they can. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. And we definitely see her going on the under due to these situations. Now, looking at someone like Marina Mabrey as well, we have seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5, which has also led to her average over the last 5 being 17. Now, her average over the last 5 is 17, so slightly above this line. However, when you really look more and more closer, you do see that, when it comes to Marina Mabrey, she did have a massive outlier game against Atlanta Dream. She had 34 points and has brought this line a little bit too high that now there's a lot more value actually to go on the under. So for that reason, we are sticking to the under for this situation here for someone like Marina Mabrey. Now, like we mentioned before, when we look at, what the bookies are saying, bookies also are favored for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this situation. So Marina Mabrey, 16.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're going to be talking about none other than Nneka Ogwumike. So, Nneka, great player, as we all know, for Seattle Storm. And this one is a fantastic one for 14.5 points. And this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Nneka, we've actually seen her go on the under in 3 out of the last 5 games. Now, this definitely is an interesting one because we do actually see that, when it actually comes to Nneka, we have actually seen her go on the under not only 3 out of the last 5, but her average over the last 5 is also 16. Now, similar situation to Mabrey and also Ogunbowale, but obviously she did have a massive game, which we will get into just a sec. I did want to show you first, June 4th, faced off against Dallas Wings, actually had 14 points there. Then faced off against, Phoenix on June 8th with 13 points in that matchup. Then against Minnesota on June 12th, 21 points. Then Golden State Valkyries had 6 points on June 15th, and then 26 points against June 18th against Los Angeles Sparks. So it definitely was a big game for her in that most recent one where she did have 26 points. It definitely did bring this, sort of average very high, which is why her average over the last 5 is slightly higher. But looking at this, we do definitely see, when we look at the matchup between Seattle Storm and Las Vegas Aces, we do see that Seattle Storm do actually come in at the 5th spot, and they actually rank 5th with a 7-win, 5-loss record. So they have a 58.3% win percentage. They currently are on a 1-game win streak as well. Now, looking at their matchup, Las Vegas Aces, we do see that the Aces do actually have a record of 5 wins and 6 losses. And they have a 45.5% win percentage with a 2-game losing streak so far. Now, they came in at the 8th spot, like we mentioned. So obviously, between both of these teams, both are definitely going to try to push to get this win, as they are looking to, really get into that top half or stay in that top half for Seattle Storm's case when it comes to the WNBA rankings. Now, looking at, someone like Nneka Ogwumike, we do see the matchup against Aces, and we do see that Aces do rank, when it comes to points allowed, they do rank 9th. So, they do rank, a little bit mid-tier in that category. However, when we look on a per position basis, like we've mentioned with the others, we do see that when we look at that, we see that Nneka is a forward, and Las Vegas Aces actually do a fantastic job at restricting points to the actual forward position. So we definitely see someone like, Nneka struggling in this scenario here. We should definitely see her go on the under due to the fact that we are expecting Aces to hone in and focus a lot of their defense on her. Now, looking at also Aces and their, defense per position, we also have seen that Nneka overall hasn't really had that great of a usage rate. Yes, she is coming off a 26-point game, but as you see, she has gone on the under in 3 out of those 5 games. We think on a consistent basis, we have definitely seen, Nneka go on the under more than going on the over, and we definitely see that being a big case there. So for that reason, I do very much like the under for this situation for someone like Nneka Ogwumike. And when we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have her favored for the under as well. So Nneka Ogwumike for 14.5 points for less, I think is a great pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than Jaylen Brown. Now, as you all know, Jaylen Brown is a fantastic player for none other than Connecticut Sun, and she has done a fantastic job during the regular season because we have seen her so far this season average 5.4 points, 1 rebound, 0 assists, and 0.6 steals. Now, when we look at someone like Jaylen Brown, we definitely have seen her, play more of a supporting type cast role in this team. And when it comes to Connecticut Sun, they definitely have struggled because they currently do rank 12th in the WNBA with a record of 2 wins and 10 losses. So we have seen them have a 16.7% win percentage, so very low. They're 1-5 from home and 1-5 from away games. And on top of that, we also see that they are on a 4-game losing streak. Now, when it comes to Connecticut Sun, it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup because we do see Connecticut Sun do face off, like I mentioned, against none other than Dallas Wings. Now, it is definitely going to be a big game. Looking at Dallas Wings, we have seen them, do a little bit worse, I would say, than actually Connecticut Sun because they also have a record of 2 wins and 11 losses. So they have a 15.4% win percentage. However, they are currently on a 1-game win streak, so they are looking to make it into a 2-game win streak. Now, looking at someone like Jaylen Brown and the matchup against Dallas Wings, we do see that Dallas Wings do actually rank 12th when it comes to points allowed. Also rank 13th when it comes to assists allowed. And then when it comes to rebounds allowed, they rank a little bit better as they rank 7th. Now, when it comes to someone like Jaylen Brown, we do actually like the over for this situation for someone like Jaylen Brown, but strictly just for points. And a big reason being is that when it comes to Brown's usage rate, it's definitely heavily more towards points than anything else. She doesn't average any assists. Rebounds is pretty much almost non-existent, and we highly doubt a line will come out for that. So I think points is definitely where you want to have a lot of your focus on, because we definitely see someone like Jaylen Brown being able to go on the over in this one. Now, looking at this matchup as well, we have seen Jaylen Brown over the last 5 games. So we also saw Jaylen Brown's matchup against ATL had an 84-76 victory. Now, she had 0 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists there. Then faced off against Washington Mystics, lost 104-67, had 8 points, 2 rebounds, and also 0 assists. Then faced off against Chicago Sky, had 0 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists with a 78-66 loss. Then faced off against Indiana, had an 88-71 loss, with 13 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists. And then Phoenix Mercury, 83-75 loss with 6 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists there. So we have seen Jaylen Brown at times go on the under, but we also have seen her at times go on the over as well. She has gone on the over compared to her, average of 5.4. We have seen her go on the over in 3 out of those 5 games, and we definitely see that happening in this next matchup, especially against a team like, Dallas Wings, who are a very, very poor defensive team. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the over in this situation here coming into this game. So keep an eye out for Jaylen Brown's points line specifically. Keep an eye out for it. If it is under her averages, then definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the actual next player, we're going to be talking about none other than Jade Melbourne. So as you all know, Jade Melbourne, great player for none other than the Washington Mystics. Now, she has done a fantastic job during the regular season because we have seen her average 7.8 points, 2.6 rebounds, 2.3 assists, and also 0.7 steals. So we have seen to do a fantastic job there. Now, looking at this matchup, we do know that, Jade Melbourne and also the Washington Mystics do face off against Atlanta Dream. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game between both of these teams, but looking at, both these teams, starting off with the Mystics, we have seen actually Mystics rank 9th when it comes to, the WNBA rankings. They have 5 wins, 7 losses, a 41.7% win percentage, and also have a 1 win streak so far. So they are hoping to push it to 2. Now, they face off against Atlanta Dream, and Atlanta Dream have been very, very good this season. Atlanta actually have 8 wins and 4 losses, so a 66.7% win percentage. Now, they are currently on a 1-game losing streak, so they are looking to snap that and not make it a 2. And Atlanta Dream have been in a very, very good position when it actually comes to their ranking and also to their record. So they want to keep, at that pace and keep going forward. Now, looking at someone like Jade Melbourne and the matchup against Atlanta Dream, we do know Atlanta Dream do rank 3rd when it comes to points allowed. They rank 2nd when it comes to assists allowed and 2nd when it comes to rebounds allowed. So Atlanta Dream do a fantastic job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists. And for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. We do very much like the under for someone like Jade, as she also doesn't have the highest usage rate for this Mystics team. There are other players that, although they are going to do a great job restricting them, we do believe someone of Jade Melbourne's caliber, who is more of that supporting cast, more of that role player, will definitely see the biggest hit in their usage rate out there on the floor. Now, a big reason why Atlanta Dream has been so successful when it comes to actually, playing great defense and not allowing a lot of points, rebounds, and assists is definitely the pace of game that they do like to run. We actually have seen Atlanta Dream do a fantastic job at slowing down the pace of other teams, and we definitely see that being the case coming into this next matchup, no doubt about it. So, for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for someone like Jade Melbourne. We definitely see her going on the under in this situation here, especially with the matchup that she does face off again. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for someone like Jade Melbourne coming into this game. We definitely see her going on the under, as we have seen in her last 5 games. We see that she faced off against Indiana on the 4th and had 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists there. Then faced off against New York Liberty in an 86-78 loss with 15 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. After that, faced off against Connecticut, where they won 104-67, had also 5 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists there. Then faced off against Atlanta Dream, who actually had 23 minutes out there on the floor, had 8 points, 0 rebounds, and also 1 assist. And then on top of that, against Chicago Sky, had a 79-72 win there with 2 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. So we have seen, if we really want to get really focused in on it and honed in, we do see their matchup against Atlanta. We did see Jade actually go on the under in 2 out of those 3 matchups. Now, he did get 8 points, so he just made it over, but definitely not convincing enough to us. And that's a big reason why we do like the under for this situation here coming into this next game. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for someone like Jade Melbourne coming into this matchup. Mystics have done a fantastic job this season, but I do believe in this tough matchup against Atlanta Dream, we could definitely see Atlanta Dream play that lockdown defense and restrict players like Jade Melbourne as much as they can. So keep an eye out for her line. If her line is too close to her averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Ezi Magbegor. As you all know, Ezi Magbegor, great player from none other than Seattle Storm. Now, she has done a fantastic job during the regular season because we have seen her average 7.2 points, 7.4 rebounds, 2.4 assists, and also 0.3 steals. So, we definitely have seen them do a fantastic job. Now, when we look at someone like Ezi Magbegor, we have definitely seen her, do a decent job for Seattle so far this season. Now, when we look at Seattle, they do have themselves a very good matchup against the Las Vegas Aces. But looking and starting off with Seattle Storm are in a pretty good position, and they do actually rank 5th in the WNBA with 7 wins and 5 losses. So they have a 58.3% win percentage. They have definitely done a great job there. They currently are on a 1-game win streak, and they are hoping to push this into a 2-game win streak, but they do face off against the Las Vegas Aces in order for that to happen. Now, Aces do rank 8th in the WNBA with 5 wins and 6 losses. So they have a 45.5% actually win percentage there. They are currently on a 2-game losing streak as well, so the Aces definitely haven't really gotten off to the greatest start in the regular season and the start of this season as well. But looking at someone like Ezi Magbegor, especially against the Aces, we do see that the Aces do rank 9th when it comes to points allowed. They also rank when it comes to assists allowed. They do rank 12th, and then rebounds allowed. They do rank 13th. So Aces are very much a very poor defensive team, and we definitely see that being a huge struggle for someone like Ezi Magbegor coming into this game. Now, for someone of Magbegor's caliber, she definitely is a big player in points and rebounds, but strictly rebounds. Now, for this pick, I definitely would focus on a little bit more on rebounds than anything else, but I still do believe that she has the opportunity to definitely go on the over in points and assists. Like I mentioned, Aces are a very poor defensive team, so I think all around, Ezi Magbegor is definitely going to have herself a great game. But if we are going off, what I do believe has a little bit more value than others, I think rebounds is definitely where you want to focus on, especially for a pick like this. Now, looking at Magbegor, we do know she's a very active rebounder, but over the last 5 games, you see her faced off against Dallas, an 83-77 victory, had 9 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists there. Then faced off against Phoenix, an 89-77 victory, had 4 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Then faced off against Minnesota with a 94-84 victory, had 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 1 assist. Then faced off against Golden State Valkyries, had a 76-70 loss, and on 10 points, 6 rebounds and 2 assists. After that, against LA, had a 98-67 victory with 2 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists there. So we definitely have seen Ezi, do very well in the rebounding sector, and not just that, but I think in points and assists as well. And she definitely has done a great job in those categories, especially against easier defensive teams. And that's what we have seen Ezi been doing throughout the whole season. When they are up against, poor defensive teams, we have seen Magbegor be able to take advantage of this, go on the over pretty quickly. So for that reason, we do very much like the over, for someone like Ezi Magbegor. But like I mentioned, I think, rebounds is where you want to have a lot of focus on, as Ezi does have the highest usage rate in that department, and Aces rank very poor in that department as well. So it just works out in their favor there. So for that reason, however, keep an eye out for points and assists as well. I do believe the line is under averages, then definitely look to go on the over. And getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Dana Evans. So as we all know, Dana Evans, fantastic player from the Las Vegas Aces, and we have seen her do a fantastic job during the regular season. Now, we have actually seen her average 5.5 points, 0.5 rebounds, 1.7 assists, and also 0.4 steals. Now, it is still very early on in the season, so, all these teams are still definitely continuing to fight for places. But when it comes to the Las Vegas Aces, they definitely haven't gotten off to the greatest start during the regular season. Now, just to reiterate, we literally just talked about this game, but just to remind you as well, Aces do rank 8th with the 5-6 record, so 5 wins, 6 losses, 45.5% win percentage, and a 2-game losing streak. And on the other side of things, they face off against Seattle Storm. Now, Seattle Storm do rank 5th with a 7-win, 5-loss record. They have a 58.3% win percentage, and they also do have, or currently have, a 1-game win streak. So it's definitely been interesting for Dana Evans. Now, obviously, her matchup is definitely going to be a big one against Seattle Storm, because when we look at Seattle Storm, we do see that they rank 6th in points allowed, 6th in assists allowed, and 8th when it comes to rebounds allowed. So they do rank pretty mid-tier, 6th in some spots and 8th in others. Now, we still do see that being enough to see someone like Dana Evans go on the under here. Now, for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation, as we do believe when it comes to Dana Evans, she doesn't really have the highest usage rate from this team, and we are expecting Seattle Storm to really restrict aces as much as they can, and we are expecting someone like Dana Evans, who is more of a role player, have probably the biggest hit to their usage rate. So we definitely see her going on the under here. Now, when it comes to someone like Dana Evans, she does have a higher usage rate in the points and assist department compared to rebounds, so I definitely see, or would focus a little bit more on points and assists to go in the under. We are expecting Prize Picks to release lines more for points and assists rather than rebounds due to her usage rate, and we definitely see that being a big thing there. Now, looking at Seattle Storm, what we have seen Seattle do a fantastic job is slowing down teams, especially teams that are a little bit faster than them. Now, aces are a little bit faster in pace, and we are expecting Seattle to slow them down quite a lot. And because of that, slower paced game means less volume, and less volume means less opportunity for someone like Dana Evans. So that's a big reason why we do like the under for this situation here. And we definitely do like that, as when we look at our last 5 games, we see they faced off against Golden State Valkyries with a 95-68 loss. She had 7 points, 1 rebound, and 0 assists there. Then she faced off against LA Sparks with a 97-89 loss. Actually had 0 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists. And then faced off against Dallas with an 88-84 victory, where she had 6 points, 0 rebounds, and 2 assists there. After that, we saw a matchup against Phoenix, where she had 76-70 loss with 4 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists. And then faced off against Minnesota with a 76-62 loss with 3 points, 1 rebound, and 2 assists there. So we definitely have seen her do pretty poorly in some games, a little bit better in others. But I think overall, coming into this matchup, we definitely still see someone like Dana Evans going on the under here. So keep an eye out for a line. I see a lot of value there to go on the under. But like I mentioned, points and assists is definitely where you want to focus on, but keep an eye out for a line. If the line is too close to our averages, then definitely look to go on the under there.